Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We'll start now fast. Now, what I have done is we'll first understand the numericals. I've started the recording. So these are questions from numericals. Now, first of all, there is no need to go for the LTI problems that we solved in the exam because we already did it in the quiz, online quiz. So you don't need to bother about that. This final exam review question, there are 61 questions. In fact, 60, but there is one, which is a part of the 59th question. So these are the questions, and from here, I have just copied the numerical questions on PowerPoint. We'll solve all of them. In fact, they are all very easy, but we'll solve them all and see if there is any problem. We'll discuss that first, and then we'll see about the theoretical ones. Okay, so let's start first. All the questions, we first of all, there are 3 chapters mainly, which we did after the midterm exam. Others are one chapter is from before the midterm exam. So we will mainly the numericals are from the the chapters which are after the midterm exam, and these are risk and long-term financing and short-term financing. Long-term financing, there is not much because NPV, IRR, and the payback period method, all of them we did, and you tried it in the quiz. 2 questions were there for each question. So that part, I think there is no difficult question or those questions in the final exam. So mainly you have to learn about risk return and short-term financing. Now let's see the question, like start from risk and return, which is there in the review question. So try to understand them, how to do it in the exam. Now, first of all, don't assume that exactly the same questions or, it will be in the same form. And then, you are allowed to use calculators, but only simple calculators, not the online or mobile phones, online connections, only basic simple calculators. Okay, so that's a rule you have to follow. And the choices will be there, you have to choose from them. Now, this is first question from the first chapter, okay, the chapter on introduction. Now you see the objective of a company is profit maximization, and the earnings per share for the 2 projects are 12.2, 10.3, and 11.1 in the 3 years, and B is 8.7, 15.5, and 16.2. Now this is the only type of question from the first chapter. Here what we have to do, simply add them. Okay, these are all EPS. So what we have to do is we have to add all these EPS from year 1, 2, and 3, and then find out the value. Similarly for B, and we will choose the higher value. So we see here, the sum of EPS for B, project B is 40.4. So that means the share earning is more for this category. All right. So this is more. Now this is about the calculation, very easy calculation. EPS is given. We have to just find out by summing up the total EPS and see which project is better. So what is the criteria? The more is better. Now let's see the second one, that is question number 23, which is regarding risk and return. Yeah, good. Mohammad Adadi is right, higher. Now let's look at question number 23. This is from risk and return. All right, final exam chapter number 3. Now in this problem, it says that the total amount invested is 350,000, and the total amount after 1 year is 386,500. So what is the total return and the investment? So it's a very easy calculation, but we should know how to do it. investment is 350, returns, net returns will be the difference of principal and the amount returned. So amount returned is 386,500. The principal was 350,000. So the net return, but you just check it with your calculators also, because I have done it fast manually. So if I am wrong, just make it correct. So see the calculations, okay? But the process is the same. Now this is 36,500. So how to calculate the returns on investment? It is 36,500 divided by 350,000, and to make it percent, we just multiply by 100. So we get a return of 10.43 percentage. So this is the answer for risk and return, finding the returns on investment. Now this percentage is very important because now we can compare one project from the other. So if ROI of one project is 10.4 and for the other is 13, then what will we choose? We'll choose the higher one, the return on investment when there is higher. So this is the question on returns. Now question number 24. In the questions also, you have to just cross check, because I have done it fast. So maybe the question number, you just check it if this is the same question number, but the question wordings are the same. I have copied and pasted from the final exam review questions. So a person invested in shares of company XYZ. He purchased 500 shares. This is a slightly bigger problem, but very easy. You don't have to do much calculations. Very simple calculations. In fact, you don't even need a calculator. So 500 shares at 7.25 per share. He received annual dividends of 220 in 1441, then 1442, 175, 300. So 3 years he received dividends. He sold all his shares in 1443 at 11.38 per share. Now the question is, you have to find total investment, that is already given. You have to just multiply total dividends received, total capital gains or losses, net returns and net returns on investment, that is percentage. So let's see, 500 shares he purchased at 7.25. So total he spent or invested 3,625 reals. Dividends he got 3 years. So no calculations, only add them, 220, 175 and 300. So adding up, it comes to 695. And the selling value of the share, the number is the same, 500, he sold it at 11.38. So when you multiply, you should get 5,690 Saudi Riyals. So these two are his total returns, and this is his principal. So total returns, yani net returns, is this plus this, 695 plus 5,690, that is 6,385. Check it with your calculators. And this is the principal. This is the return he got in total, including dividends and the selling value. Remember, this selling value can go down also. That is also possible. So we'll have to see the net returns by adding them. So it is possible that the selling value goes down below the principal amount and then he'll make a loss. So the total returns here is plus of 2,760. Now, what is the percentage then? The percentage 2,760 upon 3,625 is the principal, multiply by 100, the net return percentage, or which is called return on investment, is 76.1%. So it's an easy calculation. This is also from risk and return. Now, okay, what happened? Yeah, so question number 28. Now this question is from the risk and return and sensitivity analysis. First method. Three methods are there which help us in determining the return of the project considering the risk. So in this first problem, this is a problem from sensitivity analysis. This is question number 28 in the review. And what is the question? Very easy question. We have to simply calculate the range to know what is the variability or the sensitivity of the projects. So we calculate the range, and range is simply highest minus the lowest value in the data set. Now what we see, investment A, the investment is 750,000. The same investment for B also. Now annual rate of return, pessimistic, yani bad side. Remember this. This is bad thinking that something can go bad. How much will be the return? This is 8% and this is 6%. Most likely, which is realistic, taking all plus and minus, 15, same. And thinking good about future, 25% for A and 20 for B. But the question is, considering all these scenarios, the investor wants to know which is the best. So we consider the sensitivity analysis by calculating the range, and range is calculated by highest minus lowest. So this we have to calculate in your exam. 25 minus 8 is 17 and 20 minus 6 is 14. So which is better? Who will tell? Lower value is better or higher value is better? What is better? What will you choose? Investment B? Lower. Good. Muhammad Adati is right. Okay. Lower, why? Because this shows the variability. Yani, what is the chance that I will be far from victory, far from the set point? So that is called variability. So I want to be near the objective, the goal. So variability should be lower. Okay. So I will choose B because the range is less. Then the second method in risk and return is standard deviation. Since you don't have to use online calculators, you have to just know the rule. How will you choose regarding the standard deviation? So there are two projects, A and B. For A, the standard deviation is 0.104 and for project B is 0.153. This is in decimal terms. It can be also percentage. It doesn't matter. You have to just look at the meaning. They will be same. So which project is less risky and therefore more acceptable? Tell me which project, when standard deviation is low or high? So A is less risky because the standard deviation is less. Standard deviation of S sigma A is less than B. So we will choose standard deviation A, and that is project A. This is less risky or this is less variable. Now let's see the third method, which is the coefficient of variance. This is a better method, especially when the returns are different. There, we apply the coefficient of variance to be more certain about the risk and return, to check which is the better value. So what do? We calculate the coefficient of variance. So let's revise the formula for this. The formula for this is standard deviation divided by expected return. This is the formula, very easy. You have to remember this. You will not get this in the exam. So you have to remember this. If you get this question, then you will apply this formula and calculate the CV for X, Y and Z. For CV X, 12 upon 25. Just check it yourself also. If the calculation is wrong, we can correct it here. 10 by 30 and 6 upon 14. So this is what I have. I think this 0.43 is for Z. Okay. So let's see the values. What is the rule? The lower the CV, the better the project. So which is the lowest? No, this is wrong. That is the least risky. Wrong. The Y is the least risky. I'll confirm it. Okay. I'll check in the Y is the least risky because the value 0.33 is the lowest. Okay. Correct it in the review question also. There is a mistake. Z is not the Y is the least risky and so acceptable. Okay, so how did we calculate? We divided only the standard deviation with expected return, got these values and selected the lowest value. Okay, question number 56. This is from the last chapter, that is short-term financing. Now, in the short-term financing, the most important principle we have to learn about the business cycle and how to calculate the operating cycle, the cash conversion cycle, and the resource invested. So let's see. In this problem, average age of inventory is 45 days, average collection period is 30 days. What is the operating cycle? Now, what are these? You should remember it. Try to revise from the review questions. What are these? Average of inventory is the time for which the finished goods are kept with the company. Okay, and 30 days, the average collection period, is the time for which you will receive the cash. The total is the waiting time for the company. This is called the operating cycle. So very simple calculation. You have to just remember what to do with these numbers and then it's easy. So it's just adding 75 days is the operating cycle for the company. So if the operating cycle for the company is 75 days, then further the question says the average payment period is 55 days. So what is the cash conversion cycle? So again, what we do, we already said the operating cycle is 75 days. We just subtract the payment cycle because payment is going out of the money and operating cycle is coming in of the money. So if we subtract, we get 20 days. So this is the cash conversion cycle of a company. Very important data because as we learned in the class, if it is positive, it means that there is a gap in the collection and payment. So the company must arrange something for this period of time. So further, we'll see how much money the company needs. What is the total resource invested in this cash conversion cycle of 20 days? Very easy calculation. We will be given. So it's given that annual revenues was 15 million. This is revenues. Cost of goods sold is 12 million. This is cost of goods sold, and the accounts payable 12 million. So this 12 million is actually the inventory as well as the value of the cost of goods sold. Now, the cost of goods sold multiplied by average age of inventory divided by number of days in year, 12 multiplied by 45 upon 365. I have calculated it's 1.48 million. Accounts receivable, its revenues multiply again 15 multiply 30 by 365, it's 1.23. And accounts payable, the cost of goods sold multiplied average age of inventory, number of days in year, 12. This is 1.81 million. Now total cash conversion cycle, resource invested in this cycle, we add 1.48 and 1.23 and minus 1.81. So what is the total? 0.9 million. 0.9, that means 900,000 Saudi Riyals. The company resource money is invested in this cash conversion cycle. All right, so this is a very easy question. You have to just read the question and find the value given for annual revenues and cost of goods sold, the number of days, and just divide by 365. Maybe maybe just be careful. If it is a leap year, then it may be given that it's the year of 366 days. So then you divide by 366. That is something you have to be careful only. So if the question says it was a leap year and the year number days were 366, so divide by 366, not 365. Now last question for this numerical section is an important question, very easy, coming from the same question, is that if we reduce the time period of inventory. Now remember, in the exam it may change, it may be inventory or it may be payments or it may be collection. Any of these may be changed and then asked. So you have to just read the question carefully. Here it is average age of inventory down to 35 days. So what is the new inventory and total resources invested now? and then how much the company will save. So in the previous problem, here only we change this 45 days to 35 days and then see what happens. So here 12 multiplied 35 upon 365. I got 1.16 million. So total resources invested 1.16 plus 1.23 minus 1.81 is 0.58. That means 580,000 Saudi Riyals are now required. Earlier, how much was required? 900,000. But now only 580,000. So the difference in resources invested, or you can say the savings, unlocking of the money, the cash that will be saved by the company, is 0.9 minus 0.58. It is 0.32, or it is 320,000 Saudi Riyals. So this is all about the numerical questions, and I think this is the most the students are mainly fearing about this. So I mean, there's nothing to worry. It's very easy. The thing is, you have to. So I'll stop sharing this now. Let's go back to. Okay, so now I'll share with you just quickly the uh, Word file. Okay, here I'll make the correction also in the Word file. See the question of the standard. Yeah, here the question should be, why is the least risky? Okay, make the correction there. All right, and please post it on the group. That question number 33, answer is Y, project Y, not Z. Okay, now let's quickly see this entire review question and then we will stop. Now you see there are 60 questions here, all of them directly from the lecture notes. So you are supposed to read the lecture notes, understand them. There is still time, so if you have any problems, you can always ask personally on WhatsApp or through email. The total grade in the exam is 50. So people are asking about bonus and all. So I'll see, what to do regarding the bonus. Certainly, I mean, you will not be penalized. So say there will be some bonus to each student based on his performance. And remember that this is only a sample exam. So you should not treat this as the final. You should read the compiled lecture notes, what I have sent to you. So I'll just browse from top to the bottom, all the questions, 60. They are all arranged as per the chapter wise, chapter numbers. So you don't have any problem. And starting from first to the short-term financing. So these are the questions, all theoretical, other than those numericals that I shared with you. So I think that's all for the discussion. If you have any question, now you can ask me.
Was it clear?
Yeah. Yes. Tell me if you have any question now regarding any question in the review quiz, review exam, or anything, just ask me, and then I will stop.
Question number 59.
Question number
59.
59. Okay.
In
Numerical.
yeah,
Okay. Tell
in
me, what do
account.
you want to ask in this?
Okay, in account payable.
Hmm.
55 multiply or divide 365. Why
Yeah.
55? I think
365, isn't it?
55 or why 55? I think 45, not right. 55.
Huh?
I think 45, not 55.
Ah, sorry, you're right. He's right. This should be average. Yeah, he's right. This is average payment period.
And also in new inventory, the same. You're right. 35. It's not 35.
Where?
New infantry.
Yeah. This is 35. This is because the question is, how much will the company save if the average age of inventory goes down to 35 days?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But
Okay. But you are right. He's right. Who is the question? Who was the student who asked the question?
محمد المطرفي.
Very good. Yeah, so note this, right? This is, I will make the correction right now. Two questions correction you have to make. This formula should be average accounts payable is cost of goods sold multiply average payment period divided by number of days in year, and average payment period is 55 days. Okay, so he is right, the formula should be correct. And in the question on CV coefficient of variance, the lowest coefficient of variance is project Y, not Z, so make correction there also. All right, thanks Mohammed. So shall we stop now? It's enough.
Thanks, Doctor.
Thanks a lot. All the best for your exams. Still, you have any question, you can keep asking, okay? When I will try to respond as fast as possible, not more than one day, okay? So within a day, I will respond, inshallah.